Hello and good morning. We're Mango Group. I'm Ezekiel, and the presenters here with me today are Pei Hao, Kai Bing, and Ming Wei. Today, we're going to discuss Domino's customers' expectation and perception on its service quality. Let's start with Domino's background. I'm sure we all know what Domino is, but how many of us actually knows about its history? Well, Domino's legacy started back in 1960 when the two brothers, Tom and James Monaghan, bought a pizza store called Dominick's for a mere $500 in Michigan. However, James Monaghan spontaneously sold his half of the share for the company for a used car, not knowing the massive financial mistake he was about to make. Fast forward about a decade, Tom has renamed the business into Domino's Pizza Incorporated and made his way into the 200th store in 1978. After acquiring his 200th store, Tom Monaghan's Domino's began to truly gain traction on the pizza market as the company's market share reached global scale. By 1983, there were 1,000 Domino's stores, and in the same year, Domino opened its first international store in Canada and Australia. By 1989, Domino has had 5,000 stores in operation, making it the fastest growing pizza company in the world, with stores around UK, Japan, and South America. And by 2017, Domino's has become the largest pizza brand in Malaysia, making it the largest market in Asia Pacific. Currently, Domino's is capable of delivering 1 million pizzas daily worldwide, thanks to its mission and vision of always delivering their pizzas as fast as possible and as safe as possible. The company also has a network of around 15,000 stores worldwide. Since Domino's is such a successful company, it will make sense to analyze whether a customer's expectation would meet their perception of Domino's service. There are 5 dimensions when it comes to analyzing service, which is the ServQual model. The first dimension is the tangible dimension. So, what is the tangible dimension? According to Nike and his fellow researchers, the tangible aspect of a service quality is appearance and state of the personnel, facilities, equipment, and writing materials of an organization. The few factors we tested on respondents for the tangible dimension are the design of the shop, the menu, the environment, and of course, the employee's appearance. Throughout our findings, we computed the means of all 4 factors of expectation and perception, and the result was surprising. The factor that has the highest gap score was the menu, which had a gap score of negative 0.47. This demonstrates that while customers expect their menus to be easily understood, the one Domino's offered simply was not. The gap between expectation and perception in the menu makes sense for a pizza company, as the customer ordering the menu most likely intended to do so for their own convenience, or they simply do not have time to eat out, meaning the last thing they would want to encounter is a messy menu filled with too many unnecessary information. The lowest gap score found in the tangible dimension is the employee's appearance of negative 0.28 gap score. This demonstrates that Domino's is able to meet customers' expectation of well-dressed employees. The main reason appearance is more or less met by Domino's is the mutual respect found between the customer and the company. Now, why would we say that? Because be it during delivery or in the restaurant, customers would prefer to be treated with respect, and wearing the appropriate attire is a sign of respect from Domino's employees to its customers. The same goes for the company. Because by appropriately dressing up their employees, Domino's is able to keep up a good reputation between the customers and other competitors. I would like to pass my part to my teammate.
The second dimension is the reliability dimension. Reliability dimension is a consistency of an employees in providing service that make customer to stay faithful to the service. Due to that, we have conducted a survey to test on the reliability dimension on employees treat customer equally or provide professional service, order deliver on time, and the S are consistency accurate. Through our responses, we have computed the mean of all 4 factors of expectation and perceptions, which the result was the customer order deliver on time, which had a score of highest, that is negative 0.6. This demonstrates that the customer expect their orders can be delivered on time, but the Domino can't reach the order on time for the customer. For example, the Domino website will be estimate the pizza can be done and deliver time, but it was the average time that calculated by the system. But if it was a peak hour, so it will be make a delay for the order to sent to the customer house. The lowest gap score found in the reliability dimension is the S for Domino products are accurate of negative 0.36 score. This demonstrates that Domino is able to provide their products that state in their S inaccurate, which means Domino didn't desire to deceive their customer in the service that the company was provide. The third dimension is the responsiveness dimension. Responsiveness dimension is a dimension referred to an employee's desire to assist client when required and to provide service promptly without being agitated or unprofessional. Due to that, we've conducted a survey to test on the responsiveness dimension our employees constantly assist customer. Speed service meet customer satisfaction, customer receives prompt service, and the employees is patient to help customers solve their problems. Through our responses, we compute the means of all four factors of expectation and perception, which the result has the highest gap score was the Domino employees patient to help customers to solve their problem, which had a score of 0.66. This demonstrates that the customer expect Domino employees are able to patient to face their requests and assist them, but the Dominos can't reach this service proper to them. For example, when the customer just asking about their order still need to how long to wait and serve it. But the employees will just to get impatient to answer them or just ignore about them. The lowest gap score found in responsiveness dimension is the customer received prompt service from the Domino employees of the gap of 0.41. Domino is able to provide a good service with immediately, but it will be a crash based on the highest gap and the lowest gap. But it was the responses from the expectation and perception mean score.
The fourth dimension is assurance dimension. Employees' awareness of politeness and the company's and its employees' capacity to foster confidence and trust are both considered to be components of assurance in the software model. There are four statements that we use to do a survey, and the statement of Domino's employees are always polite and patient with customer has the highest gap between the four statements, which is negative 0.45. We know that customers' expectations in this statement are much greater than perceptions, which means that Domino's employees are not as polite and patient as expected, and customers are not well taken care of. For example, Domino's employees may be working slowly or doing other things when there are many people, ignoring customers' feeling or ignoring customer requests and so on. The lowest gap with the statement of Domino's employees enable customer to feel safe during transaction is negative 0.33. There is not much difference between expectation and perception. That is to say, Domino employees are still worthy of customers' trust in conducting transaction. For example, it may be that most of the transaction will not encounter any problems. Empathy dimension is the last dimension between the 5 dimensions. Empathy indicates that the business gives each of its customers the kind of attentive care they deserve in software model. In this empathy dimension, we have created 5 statements to do the survey. The highest gap that we calculate is negative 0.46. And the statement is, the store is conveniently positioned and accessible for customer, and the expectation is very high, which is 4.45. This shows that you can see Domino's in every corner of your imagination, and you can enjoy the food of Domino's wherever you go. But the reality is not so ideal, and it is worse than imagined. You may have to go to eat Domino's to a place at a certain distance. For us, distance is the fatal point of fast food, because the reason why people choose fast food is convenience, and distance will only make people feel troublesome. In this case, Domino may be able to follow McDonald's example. That is, we can see McDonald trace every time he reach a certain distance. Next, the statement of employees of Domino's are reachable and easy to get in touch with, has the lowest gap, which is negative 0.33. This shows that in this respect, Domino's still brings some convenience to customers, especially those who want to stay at home but want to eat Domino. When they want Domino but don't want to go out, they call to order and ask for delivery.
Hi, my name is Mingwei. Let's move on to the two-dimensional differencing part. The two-dimensional differencing method is utilized to analyze the causal relationship between the expectation and perceptions on Domino's service quality and determine which attributes of services across 5 dimensions should be given the highest priority for improvement. According to the slides, responsiveness is in the category that needs high priority, which means Domino's should put more emphasis to discover ways for minimizing the responsiveness service quality gap, as consumers' expectations are high while the perceptions are low. It is crucial for Domino's to improve its employees' altruistic to serve its consumers, making the consumers to feel value to them, as this will help Domino's to build up its consumer loyalty and a rise in purchase intention. In contrast, Domino's can choose to focus less on improving their store's decorations and employees' appearance. This is because the tangible dimension wasn't the most important dimension that consumers have high expectations about. But Domino's are still able to generate high perceptions among consumers as evidenced by the tangible dimension falling at a category that implies low expectation with high perceptions. Finally, even though this study has significant limitations, we have provided some recommendations to guide Domino's in developing strategies to improve the restaurant's industry ability to operate sustainably in the future. Manager of Domino's must understand the importance of fostering a positive working environment for its employee. It is simple to reap tremendous rewards like attracting a variety of skills and making sure that the business is engaged in a healthy competition. Next, to make guests feel professional, Domino's must also inspire their employees to adopt these values in their work after receiving sufficient training. Due to Domino's lack of skills on reliability and responsiveness, Domino's manager can hire a professional trainer, making sure that their employees frequently receive training and other activities to improve their ability to more calmly solve the questions that will be asked by consumers in a restaurant. Moreover, because the organization cultivates them in this way, through this training, patience and empathy may be instilled. As a result, employees will treat consumers in accordance with this standard. Additionally, Domino must strictly control his staff to keep their restaurant clean, as this is the first impression given to its consumers if the restaurant is dirty and the floor is not wiped. The consumers will not be interested in entering the restaurant to enjoy it, and they won't have the chance to experience Domino's service attitude as well. Therefore, having a pleasant and clean dining environment will eventually help Domino's to increase the willingness of its consumers to dine in their stores and experience the quality of their services. Thank you, and this is the end of our presentation.